What do we have in store for 2020? Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Tobias Mugg from Lit Video Productions. We make epic videos for epic companies. And let me just start off by saying Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you have a fantastic 2020. You get into some awesome video projects. You get to play with some awesome equipment. You get to tell some awesome stories. Whatever journey you're on and wherever you're at in your video career or photography career, depending on what it is, and I just spat towards the camera, we'll just leave that in. At any rate, I'm going to keep going on. Happy New Year to everybody. 2020, let's see what's going on. So my company, Lit Video Productions, we make epic videos for epic companies. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, January 5th. So entering into our 3rd year of business, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to growing some more. We've grown from the 1st year to the 2nd year. We've grown very, not a huge growth, but there was a growth. And I'm pleased with it. And then we're in the middle of a project right now that I'm about to wrap up. I'm just in pre-production on another project, and we've got a lot of different dates planned out. Everything's coming together. We'll start shooting that next week. That'll come together, and then I've got a proposal for a project that hopefully will start kicking off in March. So, I'm looking at some good stuff going on, plus some people that want to do, I would hate to say retainer, but we're going to do monthly work, and just smaller little projects, little videos to kind of boost their Instagram or boost their Facebook marketing value, all that kind of good stuff, leading up into a bigger project that we would do together. So, lots of cool little things coming up, and I'm going to be sharing some of the tricks that we do, some of the different stuff that I come up with to tell those stories after it's been released. I'll show some of the things that I do and what's going on with that. So, talking about growing my business. Now, when I first launched, 2 years ago. The year before I launched, I put together a business plan, well, a rough business plan, at least an outline, because I'm not going to get into too much detail typing stuff up. It's not just how I am. But I had at least goals, how I wanted stuff to go, different steps in place that need to be checked off as we grew, all this kind of thing. Everywhere from like starting up a bank account, getting insured, just little steps, all the different things you need to do business, but I kind of had it mapped out. Of course, getting into business, I've completely strewn from that path a little bit, but I've been knocking things off and then don't even realize it all the time that you're knocking off a lot of stuff. It's just that as you're in business and you're doing different things, obviously what you plan out in paper and then what happens in real life are two different things, and I think it's just you become flexible, but at least you had a plan going in, but you start to adjust those as you live through it. So entering into our 3rd year to grow the business, I'm not so much worried about saying, well, I want to do 100K, 50K, whatever it is for the business. I'm more interested in setting personal goals for myself. I know I want to save up money for some different things going on in my life, and by setting those personal goals and breaking it down, reverse engineering it into how many different projects, how many different things, so that each month I'm allocating projects to go into different places. So while I'll cover my company overhead, I'll cover my payroll, basically making sure I've got money to pay my bills and stuff like that and live. I'm also going to be allocating money into different savings areas for personal stuff. By having those different goals in place, it's going to help grow my company. So I'm going to hit personal goals that I want to do, but then by default, it'll make my company grow. And I think by having that personal desire on some of those goals, it'll help push things and grow things instead of just saying, oh, I want to gain 5 more clients. No. Let me not think about it that way. Let me look at it as, if I want to put away $10,000 for this, aside from business, and it's a personal thing, so that's $10,000 gigs. Break it down like that, or 11 if you want to take out taxes, whatever, or I know there's other taxes, whatever. Everything's all over the place. But just raw, $10,000, 10 gigs, that's how it'll work. So that's 1 gig a month, or 2 $500 gigs, or 600, however you want to break it down. But think about it that way. And then I was thinking about making a dry erase board with like charts, and then kind of like in a when they do fundraisers and they mark off each of their numbers, I'll do that, but I'll actually list the gigs. So I can physically look and see what different work I've done throughout the year to achieve these different goals. And while I might not hit those full numbers by the end of the year, I'll see at least I've done stuff in those columns for those personal goals. I do want to hit them, but realistically, I understand that you want to hit them, but it might be $1,000 short on this one, or maybe we'll go $2,000 over. I mean, I'm not that pressed, you know. It'll grow. We're doing stuff. So I've talked about some current projects that we have going on. Let's talk about gear and where we're going. So currently on my laptop, I still owe about $107. So I've got two more payments on that where I don't have any interest. So I'm going to take advantage of that, doing it at like a $71 payment, just so it's a little easier on my bank account. And I could have already paid it off, but no harm, no foul. It'll be paid off by the first quarter, and I'll own it. I started off 2020 with $2,000 still owed on my C200, so I have 8 payments of $250 to do this year. So already that's in my overhead, and it's just something that I'm going to keep paying off. I've already paid off one of those for January, so I have 7 more $250 installments to pay off without interest. If I don't do that within there, interest is going to kick in, and I'll owe interest on the entire camera, which we don't want to do that. So I will have that paid off before that comes. Now, needed gear. Gosh, there's always gear that you need. But you have to think about it in this way. There are specifics that I know I need to invest in. I have tripods. I have a gimbal. I've got multiple cameras. I've got lavalier mics. You know what I don't have? Shotgun mic. So right there, that's kind of going to push up to the top of the list because I'm getting into more interviews where people need to come in, sit down, or it might be multiple people. We don't want to mess around with having to mic people up. And it's nice to not have the mic in shot. And I think owning one and going through the practice and getting used to it's going to really, really help me develop my skills and what we can deliver for clients. So I'm looking at a Rode. Let's see, a little Rode thing. I'm wearing a lav right now. A Rode NTG3, I believe, is the model. And the reason I'm looking at that over the NT2 or NTG2 is just reviews. I went on, watched Google, watched some reviews, and the NTG3 seemed to get a lot of good reviews from sound people specifically. Obviously, they're using multiple $1,000 microphones. This one is under $1,000. You can get the boom, pole package, the whole 9 with it. You can throw it on a C-stand if you have the little arm grip thing. So, or you can always use an A-clamp just to get it in. There's different ways you can mount it. But having that and setting up and then getting into just using it, utilizing that, getting used to how to set that audio up and how to mix it, I think that'll just be a great investment. Lens. I do want to get another wider lens. Right now I'm using my stock one as my widest at 1855. I want to get the, 1735? I think that's what it is, yeah. The Canon set. It's an L series glass. Get that. I really need to spend the money and get the f2.8, which means I'm just going to be spending a couple $1,000s. So there's that. And then, I mean, honestly, drive space. Shooting 4K is destroying me. Even shooting compressed 4K, and I'm making content for the web, it still destroys me in the fact that, first of all, I have all the content. I have to make proxy files, so there's a little more space. And then I make redundancies on a separate drive, just in case. So I always have 2 copies of everything. I know I should have a 3rd one, 5th one, 17th one, all over the place. But come on, realistically, what's in my budget, what I can do, at least I have certain safeties in place. So I'm going to look towards a RAID 1 system this year at some point. Those are my 3 main things. Personal goals. A car is a new thing that I'm going to have to invest in. One, I got too much gear. It's hard getting gear in and out of the current car I have. I want to be able to do bigger things and put more gear in and all that kind of stuff. And when I go to rental houses, pick up stuff, be able to use a trailer. So a car is another piece of gear that I'm going to be investing in this year, or an SUV. I'd love to get a truck, but trucks do not lose their resale value, and I don't want to get something with 200,000 plus miles on it. I need to get some kind of ROI on my investment, whether it's 5 years or less, for something around the $5,000-$6,000 range. So, is there any other gear that I could invest in right now? There's always some gear you can invest in. I might get some of those little aperture LED lights, because it would be nice just to have something small that I can bring in to kick up some backlight for interviews. Otherwise, I mean, that's kind of like, I'd like to just kind of, so where am I capped at? That's under $10,000. Let's stay there for the year. That'd be really nice, to not have to go over that and not get that much money, especially when I still owe a little less than $2,000 on that camera, $1,750 still on my C200. So realistically speaking, these are just kind of where my head's at and that kind of thing. And let's come on, we're hitting year 3. I want to go on vacation this year, so I need to pay myself a little more, plus save up for these other goals and stuff. But I mean, I don't need to live extravagantly. That's okay. You know, I can be a somewhat humble man. I just want myself a Genesis to play. I can sit there and play those video games and be content. I'd love to hear what kind of things you have going on in 2020. You know, is there are you getting into some new gear? You looking to pick up a certain amount of clients? How are you looking to expand your company, your brand, what you're doing? I'd love to hear just your thoughts. Or is there any I don't know, whatever. Drop a comment below. Subscribe for more content like this. I'm going to be talking about, some upcoming videos. Let's jump into that real quick. Upcoming videos that I'm going to be talking about. So I will need to do the stereotypical 6 months with the C200, my thoughts, that kind of a thing. And so we'll go over just kind of how I've started using it and how many of the accessories I don't use and what I do use. And it's just for speed, ease of use, that kind of thing, from jumping from a gimbal to on a tripod to whatever it is. Well, then we'll talk about some more lighting gear. I've got some friends that have different stuff. So, we're going to get into some more content this year. I just need to figure out how I can shoot things for this, as long as working on my client stuff, because I'm doing full producing right now, and it just consumes a lot of my time. But, so we got those different things going on. So, yeah, go ahead. Give us a like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff that you're supposed to do with YouTube. Comment. I love having comments. This is now my social media. I don't go on Facebook at all anymore. I do Instagram a little bit, and that's about it. I don't use any other social media. Maybe LinkedIn once in a blue moon because I have to as a business owner, but otherwise, YouTube's kind of where I like hanging out. So, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. May your week be epic. My name is Tobias Mug. Let's try that again. So, everybody have a fantastic day. May your week be epic. My name is Tobias Mug from Lit Video Productions. We make epic videos for epic companies. Y'all have a good one. All right, cheers. Peace.